night sound session with John Moore and DJ Hyphen on KUBE 93.
People out there watching, welcome to KUBE 93 in Seattle. My name is DJ Hyphen.
And I am Jay Moore.
We got Jay Moore over there, and we have a very special guest.
I'm Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah.
And you're not.
So we're hanging out with Lou. We're broadcasting live on KUBE93.com.
That's right.
And we're also recording this for our show, Sunday Night Sound Session.
You already know.
6 years we've been on the air here on KUBE, and Lou has been possibly our most played artist in those 6 years.
Most played?
Like played?
No.
Like we play every week. We tell a Lupe joke.
He just be playing himself every time he come through the show.
No.
Most frequently,
spun.
Spun, heavily rotated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if we're talking music biz, so spin, son.
BDS.
Thank you, Hype.
Yes,
all
BDS.
that.
Thank you, Jay.
No doubt.
Yeah. So Lou, welcome back, man. It's been a while since we've actually had you in studio hanging out with us, but of course we've done maybe 3 or 4 interviews over the years, and now you're back in Seattle, kind of prepping the launch of Lasers.
That's right.
The long-awaited is kind of an understatement.
Highly anticipated.
What's the statement then?
The real statement is overdue.
You think it's overdue?
I think, well, the fans think that, don't they?
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out to all the Lupe Fiasco fans. Thank you for the thing you did.
No problem. Shout out to the people who came through, got a chance to meet Lou.
And everybody that went to New York. I seen you there when we was there.
Oh, the protest.
They came too. He had them organized. It was like,
well,
JB moonlighting.
International J.
All type of other stuff.
Right,
you didn't know I worked up in here up in this subway? You didn't know? What you wanted? What? Huh?
I got you.
He's like, oh, you ain't know I was flying this plane too? You ain't know I worked for Delta, huh?
It's like those old sitcoms where they get stuck in a small town and they're like, we need to talk to the fire marshal, and the guy like ducks underneath the table, comes back, he's like, we're talking to the fire marshal now. Yeah, that's Jay. He's everywhere. But let's kind of break it down for the people who are kind of uninitiated, that have maybe been familiar with the previous 2 official albums, maybe some of the mixtapes. There is a new album.
Yeah.
It has a release date. Tell the people about it.
The new album, Lasers. Love always shines every time. Remember to smile. Release date March 8th, 2011.
Yes.
Last album, just to give that kind of context, the last album, The Cool, was released in December of 2007.
2007. My goodness.
It's been 07.
That's like 14 years in rap life.
He's getting his D'Angelo on.
You hear what he said? It's like 14 years.
You know what I'm saying? Like a year.
Man.
1 year in rap life was like a dog year.
Yeah. So the question is, how many songs has Lil Wayne released in those 4 years?
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
No doubt.
Anthologies.
About maybe 25.
25 official songs.
I can't keep up. But yeah, man, the third critically acclaimed even before it came out, because you had people like, yo, if you really want your album to be successful, it should do like this. Fan wanted. I call it the People's album. I don't even call it Lupe album. It's like the People's Lasers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fan demanded 30,000 signatures upon a protest to force Atlantic to give a release date.
Yeah.
Then a protest, which was RSVP'd into the thousands. People were going to come down and protest in front of the headquarters in New York City. The threat of that got a release date, and even though they got a release date, they still came down in the hundreds to protest in New York.
Just the style on it.
So so everybody, all the people out there that's on social networking sites and everybody talking about it's a movement. That's a movement. I would say that's moving it.
Yeah, people actually showing up in person.
Yeah, not the rapper cliche.
So how have you been able to get such a rabid fan base? What do you think it is about your music that maybe touches people to the core? I mean, like we said, we had 200 people in a day submit their favorite Lupe verse. Every single one was different. Every single one was a really deep story about how your music actually changed their life. Like at some point, they heard a verse at a really tough time in their life, and they actually changed directions in life based upon your lyrics. Like what is it about the music that gets these people?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, and just to give it context, I think on the opposite side of that, Jesus, this phone is ridiculous.
That's the movement. The movement doesn't stop.
I think on the other side of it, you got people who are just as affected by, a Rick Ross record. You know what I'm saying? Just in a different way, in a different capacity, in a different direction. For me, it's like I chose to put out positive music. I chose to put out music that was uplifting. music that was informative, you know, music that was dropping knowledge, you know, quoting one of the people upstairs.
So are you aware you're in the music business?
Don't remind me.
After that decision of actually making positive, uplifting, intelligent music.
Don't remind me.
Okay, just wanted to check.
And I think people gravitate towards that, you know, and they have the reactions that they have. It means to them what it means to them at that particular time, where it's important for that song to mean something to them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it motivates them to stay in school. I had one guy said he's going to the Army. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I'm going to the Army. You know, your music has motivated me to the point where I'm going to the Army.
Are you okay with that?
It's each his own. You know, everybody's reasoning is different, and you know, some things aren't inherently bad. It's what you do. You know, if you go to the Army and you turn into, you know, the commander from platoon, you know what I'm saying?
It's a bad look.
Then we got some issues right there. You know, but if you're going and it's like, I want to learn the world.
Yeah, the young man that he was talking to was dope. I was in earshot, and he was saying he wanted to go to the Army because in a sense he felt that he needed to leave home in order to see the world and grow, so he could become a man and then come back and affect change in his life with his family and his community and be a better person.
Not mad at that.
Lou was just like, you know, be safe.
Yeah,
that's all you could tell.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's dope to know I got that kind of, you know, it's dope, and it for me is very like kind of satisfying that is positive. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got kids coming up to me like, yeah, you know, because I shot dude yesterday because your song made me want to. I got so hyped up, I just stabbed him in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, to see there's people like, yo, you healed some of the wounds. You kept me. Some kid was like, yo, you kept me alive, yo. Like,
wow.
Kept me alive.
So what heals you? What motivates you? What keeps you alive and inspired?
That, you know, that reciprocation. You know, I always say I go into making music 50%. I make it no matter how much I complete a song and put all my effort into it and spend 10 weeks writing the verse or whatever, you know, even when it's recorded and mixed and mastered and it's just perfect, it's still only 50% done. You know, the other 50% is, you know, how it's received and how people interpret it and the meaning that they put on it. And to see that the interpretation and the effect that it has on people is something that's positive to that extent. You know, that keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me going.
So what about the opposite side of that, when people misinterpret what you're trying to say? Or maybe you worded something and in hindsight you look back and you're like, you know what, I can understand why they might have misinterpreted or received it that way. How frustrating is that? How do you deal with that when you're like, my message is not getting through to this particular person?
That I don't really get that in music, in my songs, and I always leave it open to that. It's open to interpretation. You know, if Kick Push is about delivering pizzas to you, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? I get that in like interviews. You know, when I try and explain my music or I try and explain my you know, my reasonings behind doing this and not doing that, and then, you know, somebody takes a sound bite from it and it becomes the crux of my whole career, the crux of my whole attitude. Then I spend weeks and days, you know, correcting that. Like, nah, I didn't mean, I meant it like this, I meant it like that. But before you know that, it's got its life of its own. So my misinterpretations more so come less from the music and less from people, and more from people critiquing the music.
Well, it's interesting because, like, you know, obviously all the fans that we had submit for this contest, and then a lot of people we know are just like, oh man, Lupe is so incredible, like he's, you know, so intelligent in all his interviews and everything. And then online you also see the opposite, where like, man, Lupe comes off as like an asshole in his interviews.
Like Lupe's just straight balls or what have you. But, you know, to each his own. You know, it is what it is. I can't not tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I gotta tell the truth. I whether it's politically correct or politically incorrect. I'm a regular person. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody does something to me, individually, it could be one person, individually on the internet, or individually at some blog, or individually as an interviewer, I'm gonna respond to it. You know what I'm saying? Like the same. I feel as though we were on the bus together and you muffed me in the face. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're that close. You know, it's a global community. We're all connected and Twitterized, so we're all friends and homeboys. So I feel like if somebody sends a shot that is that is beyond, you know, some stuff I know is just salacious for people to just kind of, it is what it is. But when it comes from places like MTV, you know, if it comes from people that have a certain standing in a community, or if it comes from a hip hop blog or something like that, and it's like, yo, I know you. You know what I'm saying? Like or a radio interview or whatever. It's like, yo, my man, I know you. I was just at your station last week. How come you didn't say that last week? You know? And it's kind of when you call people out on that, then it's like, oh, yo, but why don't you just stop being a crybaby and da-da-da-da-da. We should let us give away your music for free that we're not even supposed to have. You know? You know? So at the end of the day, but even with that, I don't take that too serious. You know, it doesn't get underneath the surface, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I don't sit around and lull on it.
Yeah.
And when I found myself doing that, that's when we was just talking about Twitter. I was crazy trying to retweet this, you know, this interview right here. It was like, I just took the Twitter app off my phone. You know, I don't even know the address to my Facebook to even go. I just say I got a Facebook, Lupe Fiasco, and leave it up to you to find it. You know, I'm not even engaged in it like that anymore. You know, so I give it its proper distance because it affects me that deeply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like the general kind of feeling towards you is that you're so serious, like all the time. Like, what do you do in your downtime? Obviously, we know you like to read. We know you have other interests outside of hip hop, but like, even those interests are kind of serious. Like, what's something silly that you do? Like, we were talking earlier about the Bears and the Seahawks are playing this weekend. Yeah. You're talking smack about a
He was talking smack. I wasn't talking no smack.
He was trying to defend
He came at me. He came at me.
You're right. We had a rabid Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Both teams are fairly underwhelming, if we want to be honest about it.
No, they're not. Your team is underwhelming. My team is awesome.
All right, we'll see how it goes. But like things like that, like what do you kind of, when you're kicking back, when you're not reading subversive literature, when you're not, you know, looking at paintings and analyzing the depth behind the brush strokes, like what do you do just to kick back?
No.
Or is that what you do at 11
like
p.m.
on a
Thursday?
level? On like a balling level?
No,
just regular level. That'd be dope. Anyway, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I want to hear both. I want to hear like I make a sandwich and then I sit on a chair that doesn't have legs and it just floats.
I really.
That's like some Kanye baller.
I really like Amy's pizzas.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, the cheese and pesto.
Yeah, I like
the
four cheese. I like the four cheese.
The four cheese is bomb too. Yeah,
is
four cheese is
banging.
good. My son loves them.
You know,
yeah,
so I get like Hebrew National hot dogs.
Okay.
I chop them up and I'll make like it's on my iPhone. Like,
oh, we got a picture of it?
Yeah,
we can show the people watching live at KUBE93.com. Shout out to all the viewers logged in.
I don't have my iPhone though,
yeah.
so I guess I can't.
No, he can show you, but you can visualize. You know.
So you know, I make
customize
pizza. I cook. You know,
okay.
I guess I'm pretty at home. I'm pretty couch potato. But
so do you like watch TV, play video games?
Yeah, I play video games. I got a lot of Japanese versions. I got a Japanese version of PlayStation 2 that I play. I play PlayStation 3. You know, I got like all of the. I went to Japan and just went and bought all the old video game consoles from.
So you got like a Dreamcast.
So just for clarification, what do you like to cook? Your favorite thing? Because we're not gonna count Amy's pizza as cooking.
That is cooking.
No, that's reheating.
I'm with Lou on this
reheating.
one.
Okay, so
I'm talking about cooking.
So just pull it out the box and eat it next time.
That's heating. You're heating up. I'm talking about
if that's the case, if you don't have to cook it, then why don't you just eat it straight out the box? That's what you do, Jay.
I'm with Lou because I go home and I'm like, yo, this is 5 steps. I gotta hit 2, 4, 5, start. That's 3 steps already.
Come on. Right, so no microwave.
So that's the mediocreness. Okay. You know, I'm just a regular dude.
Okay.
But on the balling side, I like cars.
Sunday night sound session with John Moore and DJ Hyphen on KUBE 93.